Alright guys, Tattoo Doc here. Welcome back to the channel. Today we have another episode of Radiologist Reacts. As you can tell, I have a fresh pair of shades. I got clean J's on my feet. I got the neon lights going. This is a 2000s T-Pain Club vibe. As always, if you enjoy the content, please like, comment, and subscribe to help us grow the channel. You can find us on YouTube, TikTok, Twitter, and Instagram at rad_talk_DG. I post a podcast that I do with my friend, and the Radiologist Reacts episodes go on YouTube, so you can find them all there. Today, what we're going to be reacting to is my favorite band of all time. I have several tattoos. When I was just a fresh 18-year-old, I got the Blink smiley face, my very first tattoo ever. I've added to the collection since. I have the Enema of the State cover, I have the rabbit, I have a whole bunch of stuff. So I'm a huge fan. I've been a huge fan. When they were singing about dick and fart jokes, teen angst, that was really my fucking vibe. Like I'm what the kids would call an elder emo, I think. So when they were popular in the early 2000s, I was enjoying it. And then, as we all know, they have a tumultuous history. So they kind of separated a couple times, and they tried to make some music, and some of it was good. And then shout out to Matt Skiba for keeping them relevant, at least in my opinion, until Tom finally got his head out of his ass and decided that it was time to make things happen again. But with all that being said, we're going to react to their new song called One More Time off of the new, they have a new album coming out next month, and I think this was the second single that they released from it, but it's gotten a lot of good reviews. It's a lot of OG Blink fans have loved it, so I thought it'd be good to go through this and kind of give my thoughts on it.
Strangers, from strangers into brothers, from brothers into strangers once again. We saw the whole world, but I couldn't see the meaning. I couldn't even recognize my friends.
It's hard not to sing along with this, but the first thing I notice here is I like what they did with Tom's voice. If you've ever heard him live, he's absolute dog shit live. So this voice is doctored, but it sounds really good. Secondly, you get to the opening line where he says strangers, strangers into brothers, and then brothers into strangers once again. I think this whole opening segment here is Tom kind of, in my opinion, taking blame for his part in breaking up the band not once but twice. So the first time, he gets this creative itch, whatever the fuck you want to call it, and he's like, I'm not feeling fulfilled singing about dick and fart jokes, which, maybe that's fair. So he then decides to go to form Boxcar Racer with Travis, and then he takes off from there. So they start out, meet each other and strangers, they become brothers, they're best friends, at least that's how it's portrayed. Blink-182 takes off, they're doing coke and bitches, whatever rock stars do when they're that famous. And then Tom hits that point, they break up, and then, as they'll mention later, some things happen and they get back together, and then they break up again and then get back together again. But I thought it was interesting because Tom says they're seeing the world, they're out touring, doing whatever, seeing all these places, playing in front of sold out, packed crowds. And he's like, I can't even recognize my best friends, Mark and Travis. It's interesting now to see him as an older person. He's like just taking blame for everything, his role in everything, and breaking the band up several times. So I thought not only was it a good line, I think it's good on Tom for kind of showing some growth.
But nothing's any different. Right now feels the same, I wonder why.
So I thought this was cool. It's a very powerful line because Mark's saying they're older, but nothing feels any different. And in my mind, he's saying, we're such good friends, even through all the dog shit we've been through. We kind of just picked up where we left off, and if you're lucky enough to have a friend where, this kind of friend where you spend 3-6 months apart, whatever it is, and then the next time you guys see each other, it's like, you didn't spend any time apart at all. To me, that's what he's saying, and it shows that they were friends. It wasn't just this facade, I guess, that they were putting on just because they were famous and making a lot of money and good music or whatever. I think they actually enjoyed each other's company. and just life kind of got in the way. So I thought that was a pretty powerful line from Mark, but it's about to get a little bit more, a little bit deeper even.
I wish they told us it shouldn't take a sickness or airplanes falling out the sky.
So those two lines are, I think, pretty obvious references for, OG Blink fans. Planes falling out of the sky, that's Travis, his plane wreck. An interesting clip about that. He was in the plane crash. They took him to the hospital. He's covered in whatever percentage of burns, all over his body. And, the doctors are treating him. He's getting better and he's about to get released. And this whole time, turns out he thought everyone else on the plane also survived, but he didn't find out until he's about to leave, which should have been like a joyous time, right? Like you just went through this traumatic experience and you're about to get out of the hospital, road to recovery, and then you find out that your best friends that were on the plane and DJ AM and all those guys that you thought were alive the whole time, he thought they were in different rooms being treated. Turns out that that they didn't make it. Like he was the only one that survived. So I can only imagine. He goes through this traumatic experience, and now he's on the road to recovery, and his friends have passed away. And he goes on to say that it was like the darkest point in his life, which is understandable. You go through it would have been traumatic if you go through the plane crash and everybody lived, but turns out everybody except you died, and they were your best friends. Survivor's guilt or remorse kicks in, and he said it was a lot. I think he said a very, very dark point in his life. And then the other line is obviously referencing Mark getting stage 4 lymphoma. And I've seen clips, where Tom kind of was like, yeah, when I got that call or, I found out that news, he's like, nothing else really fucking mattered at that point. Unfortunately in life, sometimes it takes things like this to bring people back together. But stage 4 anything is not good. I think these guys realized that, and that kind of prompted them to do the tour and the CD and everything. And that's kind of the whole point of this song is like, what if there's no tomorrow? It's a very powerful opening from both of them.
Do I have to die to hear you miss me? Do I have to die to hear you say goodbye? I don't wanna act like there's tomorrow. I don't wanna wait to do this one more time. One more time.
So then he kind of, God, I love this song. He goes on to say, I don't want to wait, because what if there is no tomorrow? He's like, this could be it. And I think they realized it, and he's like, do I have to die for us to like say that we miss each other, we love each other, we're brothers? That was very powerful. So while you're crying about that, then you get to snort a little bit of nostalgia. So you kind of have a nostalgia boner while you're crying, which is a very weird feeling, but I'm here for it. Because if you'll notice the backdrop as they go through the song, it's just classic, songs, tours, whatever. So this backdrop starts out as Warped Tour 99, obviously, is as the banner says. Next one is one of my favorite songs. Feeling This is a very classic video. I watch this a lot, even to this day. I love to watch it where it's just the vocals and the harmony at the end. Fantastic. This is First Date. It's a classic video. This is Just Take Off Your Pants and Jacket. This one, don't quote me, but I think this is Stay Together for the Kids, that demolished house. Someone in the comments will have to let me know if I'm right or wrong about that one. This is After Midnight. And then this one is kind of cool. It's just a story about, I forget which album. I rented out a house so they could, make this album. They used it as a studio, and they just fucking destroyed the house. It was like an Airbnb before Airbnb was a thing. And Mark and Tom said they just fucking shredded this house, and the owners were pissed. So, but it's kind of a throwback to that one. This is Down. I love this. I like the deeper emo stuff that they make, which is Down, like Not Now, Asthenia, Always. Those are my favorite Blink songs. So I watch this one a lot too. This is a classic song.
One more time. One more time. I miss you.
Every time, just side note, every time it says I miss you, I know we all think of You're Still the Voice Inside My Head. I know we think of it.
Took time, but I admit it. It still hurts even after all these years.
They're like, I miss you. Like, I don't know why it took Travis's plane wreck, my cancer, all this other shit for me to be like, yeah, dude, we fucked up. Like, what are we doing? We were meant to be this band. I think Travis has said, he's like, this is Blink. It's us three. It's not Scott Rayner. It's not Matt Skiba. It's us three. And he's like, this is it. And once we realize that, this is the better off we'll be.
always gonna happen. I gotta say I love you while we're here. Do I have to die to hear you miss me? Do I have to die to hear you say goodbye? I don't wanna act like there's tomorrow. I don't wanna wait to do this one more time.
Just have to let me know in the comment what song that is. Classic, one of my favorites, Always. That's the music video for Always. Another one, I know I've seen this a million times and I cannot think of the name. So someone, again, in the comments, let me know. Mark, Tom, and Travis Show, classic. All the Small Things, classic. This is from one of their tours. Spring Break.
One more time, one more time.
I don't ever remember Travis having vocals. He only says "I miss you" a couple times, but that's still pretty cool that they let him, record that line and they put it in the song. So I thought that was a nice added touch, because to me he's kind of the one that got lost in the shuffle, right? Like, Tom gets this creative itch. He's like, I want to go do Boxcar Racer, and he's like, oh man, I need a drummer. Shit, I happen to know I know the best drummer in the world. So he recruits Travis. I think that pisses Mark off, and Mark then recruits him for Plus 44, and then, he gets in the plane crash. So to me, he got kind of caught in the middle. I've seen several clips, and I happen to agree that they say that Blink really took off when Travis was, when they brought Travis on board. He's like, we used to make music, and then the kind of drummer was just there. But they said Travis was like, they would make music based around Travis because that's how good he was. And I've seen him live, and he does some crazy shit. I don't even know anything about drumming. And I'm like, man, this is crazy shit. If your nostalgia boner wasn't big enough, there's some classic. That's Boomer. That's just a classic. To me, this is kind of interesting because you can see like how different Travis looks. He has hair, not even remotely the same amount of tattoos, but enjoyed the song. I think they knew what they were doing by releasing this as one of the singles. I think the first single they released was Edging. It was okay, and not the greatest song they've ever made, but this one really hit home, right? Because it brings Blink back to their roots. They throw in the nostalgia on top of with their other classic videos and songs and tours and stuff like that. So I think they knew what they were doing. Good marketing. It's a good song. Gets you excited for the album, which I think comes out next month. And I think all the elder emos, OG Blink fans, they're going to be stoked for the CD. I've seen they released the names. I think Anthem 3 is on there. So there's going to be some other good songs. This may end up being the best song just because of the message and the nostalgia. But I'm really looking forward to it. And let me know if you guys like the song, didn't like the song, you're looking forward to the album release, you're not looking forward to it. But I think that'll do it for this video. As always, hopefully you enjoyed. If you did, like, comment, and subscribe, and we'll see you in the next one.